Quick update in markets right now. Things are getting crazy. I like crazy. this is this is where I live. This is what I know. Outside of the obvious that the S&Ps are down, let's state the not so obvious. Number one, for something that, those of you that are volatility aficionados, anybody here construe themselves as a volatility aficionado? There's like cigar aficionado, maybe a little bit about like a wine connoisseur. No, I construe myself as a volatility aficionado. We are seeing something right now in volatility that has never been seen before, ever. Okay. So a pastrami pastrami aficionado is Brandon Chapman. That's awesome. Okay. What is it? Does anybody see anything in volatility that's unusual? Okay. Other than it's spiking right now. Okay. No one. Okay. And again, let's make sure everybody's good. Yeah, everybody's good. Somebody say, I don't hear anything. So I don't hear anything. Well, then you probably can't hear this. All right. In terms of being into volatility, something very interesting is going on. We've never seen before that the S&Ps, their stones throw off their all-time high. We are stones throw off all-time high. Okay. Within 2% of an all-time high, and volatility has gone into full-fledged backwardation. We're in full-fledged backwardation now, people. It's on. Game on, right? Nove over Dece, chaos by 20 cents. Holy crap. That's one of the points. The next point is gold is in never, never land. I'm going to push that aside for a second. And then if you haven't looked at the VVIX, okay, the VVIX, the volatility of the VIX, okay, there's not too many times, all right, in modern history that we've even closed that high. You see some reversions back down, in April, but there's not that many instances of the volatility of the VIX closing this high. And it's never happened with markets up where they are. Last point to be made. This is good stuff, right? Last point to be made. Take a look. The Bitcoin, it's getting downright nasty out there. I keep talking about cracking through 110. We crack through 110. All hell is breaking loose inside of the crypto markets. I watch crypto markets over here. When I say all hell is breaking loose, just when you thought the dip was being bought, okay, they are selling that thing across the board. It's getting ugly though, once again in crypto, and we're right on the forefront of it here. So there is a precipitous break inside of markets right now. I am telling you, I don't care that the S&Ps are down 53. 53 is nothing. Okay, you can feel it, you can touch it, you can taste it. Volatility is actually with us right now, and I wanted to start with that today because look, what we're going to cover today, you got to pay very careful attention to what we're doing here with the prop firm passcode. Okay. That's why I give you a market update. Maybe towards the end of this, I'll give you another market update. But focus, people. Don't try to interpret right now what's going on. I'm serious about this. Don't try to interpret. Like, do you need interpretive dance for the marketplace? You don't right now. Don't try to interpret what's going on. Okay. You know what's going on. The volatility is screaming right now. Okay, risk assets. Everybody's like duck and cover, get under your desk, start rocking back and forth, put your helmet on. It's getting real out there. And what's so weird about it is it's happening near an all-time high in markets. Okay, how low can we go? You might have to find out. With that, let's get to it. Isn't that's a very warm greeting for everybody? So welcome everybody. My name is Don Kaufman, and I will be with you. And our guest here that I'll be bringing on in a moment, I'll be with you for the next hour or so here on this presentation, the prop firm passcode. And I'm on here because I am literally going to be writing people checks for $500 to each person who uses, and we're going to talk about this one simple setup, to access other people's money. And that's actually what we call the prop firm passcode. This is just something that has come up very, very recently, and I love it. I absolutely love it. We're going to discuss it a little bit today. So tune in, turn on, let's get going. Risk disclosure. Okay. We're not financial advisors, nor a broker dealer. I only spent 15 years in the brokerage world. I am thrilled to be out of that crap. Copyright disclaimer. This is mine. It's all mine. Support at theotrade.com. That's the email address. If you ever need to get a hold of me after today, just put Don Kaufman in the subject It'll go right to me. Housekeeping. Okay. Some housekeeping items. First of all, okay, today, everybody always asks me the question, is this live? It's live, people. That's why I just did a market update. It's live. Shut the door. Okay. Definitely kick out the kids. Turn off Telegram. I'm watching my Telegram. Close social media. I don't have any of that crap. X, okay? Nothing's even real anymore. Phone's on silent mode. Is my phone on silent mode? It is. Okay. We are ready to roll, people. By the way, feel free to chat in where you guys are joining us from. I am live today from Paradise Valley, just in basically Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm not leaving now. It's got nice. It's like 75 degrees here today. It's getting nice. All right. Look, focus. You took the time to be here. Focus on being here. We're going to go through a lot today. All right. So this is actually exactly why you're here today. We're going to talk about a trading setup with a 90% win rate. Okay. How to get started and book first profitable trade literally today. Why this setup could generate daily income approximately $620 every trading session, and the secrets to trading this setup with other people's money. Okay. And it's, let's get crazy. It sounds crazy. We are going to talk about other people's money. That's actually where I'm going to be sitting here writing $500 checks. Okay. And I think I'm actually going to sign them by hand. I'm not even going to use an auto pen. Plus, okay, I've got my checkbook out, which I'm not kidding. Like literally was thinking about this last night and I'm like, okay, I've got it out. It's ready to go. The checkbook is out, people. When you access other people's money, I'm going to actually write you a check for $500. And yes, seriously. And yes, we're going to, okay, send out $500 checks. Okay. And you're going to see why I'm actually happy to do so. So the setup you're about to learn, it's repeatable. It's easy to learn, occurs every single day. Okay. Very, very consistent return. And it's perfect for beginner traders. I don't want anybody to think that you have to be like wildly experienced, obviously, in these products. Okay. And for more experienced traders who know the potential pitfalls of settling for average and uneven setups, that's what we're going to focus on today. Is this overcomes a lot of the pitfalls, that even experienced traders actually often fall into. So with that, okay, why this is the most important training you could watch as we speed towards 2026. Simple, okay. The setup alone has passed, okay. It's two near impossible gauntlets. And I want to bring this up whenever I talk about this setup. There's two, okay, next to impossible kind of gauntlets. Gauntlet number one, there's 18 months, okay, of rubber meets the road proof, meaning that there's 18 months of real trading results. And I want to throw this one out here for a second, okay? That's not my results, okay? That's not our guest results. That's clients' results. So I think better than me sit here and, tell you about like, oh, my trade did this and my trade did that. And we're going to show you some trade examples. Okay. You really want to know about this setup? When the rubber meets the road in clientele, okay, when clientele here of TheoTrade are involved in a trade and they're profitable, okay, for 18 months, okay, that's the best gauntlet you could possibly pass. That's gauntlet number one. Okay. That is $620, okay, a day delivered. Had you actually taken every setup over the past 18 months, it's equivalent to $446,000 and $80. Again, what you could have potentially banked if you traded every setup in the past 18 months is $446,080. Okay. Again, as I said, 18 months, the proof's in the pudding out there. Okay. Without being tied to your monitor all day, without needing to track a ton of stocks. This is not going to be a ton of stocks without needing a lot of money to get started. Gauntlet number two. Okay. This is actually the near impossible over here, okay? And that is beaten rigged games of the $20 billion prop firm industry. One of the most interesting things you're going to learn today, okay, about this is that we, okay, have actually beaten the prop firm industry, basically in its own game. So the trader you're about to meet has used, okay, a singular, all-powerful setup to access other people's money, okay, by outwitting the $20 billion prop firm industry. They lure traders in with the promise of giving them capital to trade. Okay. How many people here are familiar with prop firm? Anybody? Okay. Just, you could say me. Anybody here familiar with prop firms? Anybody? The problem with the prop firms. Okay. Some people are and some people aren't. I'll introduce you right now. The people, okay, who, run these prop firms, they make it near impossible, okay, to make the grade until, okay, this setup arrived. backed by 18 months of basic proof. Okay. Take a quick step back though. Before we jump in and start talking about, let's get to the setup, take a quick step back because a lot of people don't know what is a prop firm. It's a company that funds traders who pass a rules-based test. So imagine a company says, you can use my money. You can use my money, but you got to take a test first. Okay. So you take a short online evaluation, funded account, share profits. Okay. Easy enough, right? If you don't pass, your personal account stays untouched. So imagine taking this test, and that's all it is. If you can pass the test, you get to access their money. If you don't pass the test, okay, they'll start charging you some fees and other crap like that. Maybe it's kind of crazy, but it feels like a very rigged test. Now, now, why is the time to learn this? Because the space is enormous and it's spreading extremely fast. There's an estimated $20 billion a year on the prop firm side, and it's become very much mainstream. Firms publish rolling payouts. Payout is when you actually take money from the proprietary trading firm. Prop firm is known as proprietary trading firm. Okay. If you make money for them, you get a payout. That's it. So they publish, rolling payouts, growth stats. Regular people pursue funding, okay, to scale their strategy without risking their nest egg. It's kind of cool, instead of your 100 grand, it's their 100 grand. And now, for reasons I'm going to get into, when you get started, I'll mail you a check. I'll mail you a check for $500, okay, and send it to you. And I'm going to explain that here in a moment, okay? Your money or theirs. With your savings, every mistake hits your wallet. With their capital, okay, prove steadiness first, then trade bigger. Goal, pass the grade first, then trade carefully and share the profits. Okay, that's really what the entire proprietary trading firm industry is all about. Okay, are there test rigs? I shouldn't say the word rigged because that's a naughty word. Okay, this is the prop firm. Okay, puts you through a gauntlet. They put you through what we call kind of a carnival tilted. You guys know what carnival tilted means? Okay, you play a game at a carnival. You're throwing a ball like into a hoop. The ball's this big. The hoop is this big. Like the ball is definitely bigger than the hoop. You're sure of it. Maybe the ball could fit through the hoop, but probably not. Okay. And they put super tight limits and really strict rules on you to where 98% of people fail the evaluation. And therefore, okay, they fail to access the prop firm money. But this setup, okay, that we've been executing now for 18 months is actually kind of built in and around those rules instead of actually fighting them. So official access to prop firm capital. This is certified trader. I redacted the name in there. But anyway, this is a prop firm pass, okay? And what it basically does, recognizes the commitment, yada, yada, yada. This allows you, okay, to use their capital. I just threw, a generalization in here of a big name firm. This is, by the way, a real certificate, okay? So we went through and we actually passed a couple of these. And I say my guest actually passed a bunch of these. And this is a certified funded prop trader. So this is access to other people's money. Now, the trap most people fall into. Why don't most pass these tests? Okay, they pushed too hard in one day. They ignored time windows and simple limits. They chase instead of follow a plan. Okay, but the setup you're going to learn today is actually rules-based. It's disciplined. Okay, it's strict. Again, green light, red light directions, meaning that this is going to be go, no go for the particular setup. And that's critically important. And it's ironic because it's kind of built around the same rules that a prop firm would use in order to be able to pass their test. So why does it work so well? Well, you're going to see one simple, repeatable trade. You're going to understand. Okay. You'll see how it all centers around one simple number. Okay. By the way, I'm just going to throw this out right now. I want you to start screaming 26 as loud as you possibly can at some point. Okay. Just start randomly screaming 26. Okay. Just watch, wait for the number to roll around, and it's going to be that straightforward. Now, one ticker, one number, one market doesn't get any simpler than that. Okay. Plus, it all happens in one powerful yet overlooked market. Okay. Dump the watch lists out there. It's going to be about the NASDAQ. Let's get crazy. Let's talk about NASDAQ. So first of all, okay, NASDAQ, and specifically, okay, why the NASDAQ and what is the NASDAQ? Well, what we're going to be talking about today, okay, is, okay, the infamous, and I'm actually going to write it up here, the /NQ, but there's always the /MNQ. I want to bring both of these products to your attention. There are going to be people tuned in today, that have no idea what a forward slash NQ is, that a forward slash MNQ. Okay. This is a NASDAQ futures contract. This is a micro NASDAQ futures contract. This is the mini, this is the micro. And with these contracts, okay, if you've never traded a futures contract before, like, look, this is not like back to the future. There's nothing like crazy about it. The bottom line with these contracts, there's only two things you can do with a NASDAQ contract. You can buy it or you can sell it. That's it. You can buy these or sell these. And the reason I like to actually cover this is they're traded through the CME group, okay? And they use a system called Globex, which is the fastest dissemination of order flow in the entire marketplace. It's phenomenal, okay? We also are very aware that can the NASDAQ move? Oh yeah, the NASDAQ moves, okay? It's Mr. Toad's wild ride. And again, this product is actually open approximately 23 hours a day, 5 days a week, okay? The setups, it feels like endless in here. We're going to focus on this very one product. And before I go any further, I am also going to lay into each and every one of you about this, okay? There's a reason that I just brought up the MNQ. It's a micro. Okay, it's a little micro product because that's your proving ground. And you're going to hear me say that time and again in today's session. That is your proving ground over there. So look, the goal of any successful trader is to go to a go-to repeatable strategy, easy to learn, occurs every day, yields consistent returns. And again, the setup I'm about to show you starts screaming at 26 with a 90% hit rate. Okay, so let's learn passcode. So about to walk, okay, through the exact checklist he uses, okay? Give yourself the chance to trade their dollars while protecting yours. Meaning, okay, with the passcode, okay, we're going to try to access prop firm capital. Are you ready to actually see the prop firm passcode? Okay, I think most people are, because if you are, all right, we're going to talk about how to also claim your $500 check. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Rago. Tony Rago is our E-mini NASDAQ instructor here at Theo Trade. He has over 20 years of experience in trading these products, specializing specifically in E-mini NASDAQ futures, of course, micros as well, providing actionable ideas, trading all day, every day, a multitude of different setups. And over here, and trades live within the Theo Trade chat room. Tony is also, well, there's a lot I could say about you. I mean, first of all, welcome, Tony. There's a lot I can say. That sounded so negative. Okay. The first thing I'll say is you've grown quite the beard since we took this picture over here. Getting old and distinguished over here. This is you in your younger years. So Tony's also raced road bikes. Is this like pro-am? Is it professional?
It would be considered that. Well, that's San Dimas stage race. So that was like a pro race back in the day, but I'm not a pro. We're on the edge of pro. We're pro-am, I guess you would say. There's not a pro on the podium.
There's a
Um,
lot of you on the podium in here too. I mean,
yeah,
it's by the way, it's a little bit of an awkward look, showing this on here, but that's all right with me. Um, yeah, I mean, look, it's lifestyle, okay, where Tony's actually trading and riding. I know that you no longer ride in road bikes. You're a mountain bike guy now.
I am a mountain bike guy now. I no longer ride the road bikes because honestly, the risk reward is just not there anymore. So
Yeah, yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it.
kind of retired from racing. We looking back on that. So this particular win right here was this was like the goal to win the San Dimas stage race, one of the stages. That was absolutely the goal. I hit it, and there's endless stories of people getting hit by cars, and it was just where it wasn't worth the risk anymore. So if I'm going to hurt myself on a bike, it's going to be my fault in the dirt.
That's the spirit, man. That's the spirit. No, the reason I actually like including those pictures on here because for those of you that have no idea, the discipline involved in trading, okay, is obviously there, but the discipline involved to take podiums in a multitude of races, especially when you're starting to talk about racing road bikes in California, okay, is incredible. And that's why I wanted to actually throw that in there. With that, let's get into it a little bit. Let's start screaming the 26 over here. So talk a little bit about Nasdaq. Let's go for it.
All right. So I recognize a lot of names in the chat. So you guys know me well. Some of you do, some of you don't. Again, I'm Tony Rago here at Theo Trade. I'm the Nasdaqian, so I focus on the Nasdaq. But what you're going to find throughout my process here and through the whole presentation is I like to keep stuff simple. I do not want a complicated life. I go to great lengths, especially in my trading, to keep it super simple. There's not a bunch of indicators, there's not a bunch of bells and whistles, and I work around some very simple rules. And we're going to get into why these rules are so important as we start talking about the setup. But I want to share this with you. This is one of my favorite testimonials that I got on in an email, and it is from Rich C, 85 years young, learning new tricks. It's official. You've succeeded in teaching an old dog new tricks. This filled a pressing need in my financial life. I'm so grateful to Almighty God for you and the new skills I've gained by applying the new knowledge you've taught me. That is why I do this, you guys. I get a lot of these emails, and this is what keeps me showing up every single day because I'm just turning those lights on. We're getting these light bulb moments, these aha moments. And then, as Don said, you don't need a lot of experience for what we're about to talk about. I've really, and to be honest, if anybody out there is a futures trader, it is arguably one of the harder things to do. But I've simplified this with one setup and I've back tested it. And we have now 18 months of proof that the setup works. So when we get into how simple it is, I want you to keep that in mind, okay? That you don't need a lot of experience. I will show you exactly how this sets up. And again, one number that I want you to focus on is the 26, but we'll get there. So why do I trade futures products, the NQ versus trading stocks? Because honestly, trading the NASDAQ, trading the NQ is like trading the entire tech sector under one ticker, right? It is where the action is. The largest tech companies on the planet trade on the NASDAQ 100. We're talking the Magnificent Seven. So we can basically trade that volatility and that movement in one product, in one chart, one symbol, one ticker. Okay. And then drilling down even further and simplifying even further, one setup. Okay. And I call it the golden setup. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Don mentioned the number 26, kind of stole some thunder there, but that's okay. So I want you to focus on this right here. The number 26. This particular number on the chart is 21,626. We're obviously in the 24,000s, 25,000s at the moment. It doesn't matter. It is the 26 regardless of where we are in terms of the market. So it could be 25,026. It could be 25,526, which we have never been there yet. It's going to do the same thing there. Okay. 24,926 we saw today. 24,826 we saw today. All the same thing. All I want you to focus on is the number 26. So wherever the market is, as long as it ends in those two digits, 26, that is our setup. The other number that I want you to focus on is the 50. Okay. And there's only a couple moving parts with this setup, but you do have to focus on a couple numbers. This setup begins when price crosses over this blue line right here is 21,650. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter where we are. As long as there's a 50 on the end of that number, it's coming from the 50. That's the term I'm going to be using as we start to talk about this and get into the details. Price crosses over the 50, coming down through the 50 to the 26. I don't have to explain every single thing on the chart without you seeing that price reverses or springboards off of the 26 and back to the 50. That's the golden setup. So when price comes down from the 50, we buy the 26. Okay, so we'll have the order sitting there waiting for us, waiting for price to come get us. We're not messing around in here. We're waiting for price to come down to the 26. We take action, and I'm going to show you how we automate this trade. We take action, and the automation of the trade takes over from there. Okay, and this is how we are collecting $620 a day. Now, I want to talk about how that comes about. Okay, and we're going to get into a couple trade examples here. Okay, so the NASDAQ, the NQ, and this is very, very important, especially today with the volatility the way that it is. Okay. It's very important that you know there is a time to trade this and there is a time to step aside. There's a time to trade the NASDAQ and there's a time to trade the smaller product as well. And as Don indicated, the micro version of the NQ is a perfect training ground for you to learn this setup. You could sit on the micros and, not to sound, too cheesy, but you can earn while you learn while you're sitting on the micros, right? You're going to manage these trades much differently than you would the bigger product. And I know it sounds weird. The NQ is called the mini and the MNQ is called the micro. We call the bigger product the mini, which is a little weird, but that's okay. So here's how it works. The NQ, okay, is worth $20 for every point that it travels. Okay. This particular setup and the way that I have us executing the trade is we put two contracts on. Okay. We take profit. So here's here we put two contracts. So we're putting two contracts on the 26. So 24,726. We take one of them off or sell one of the contracts at the 33, and that is for +7. Okay. 7 times 20 is $140. Oops. Okay. And then if price continues on to the 50, back to the 50 level, that is another 24 points from our entry, right? From the 26 out at the 50. That is the entire trade. That is another $480 for a total of $620. That's how we arrive at this number. So when I throw that number around, I'm not just pulling it out of the sky. It is very much based on price coming down from the 50. I'm going to show you more examples. Into the 26, we buy two contracts and we let the way we, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. The way we have automated this, we let it take over. Okay. And it has these already programmed to take profit at these levels. Okay. So this is an example of the NQ. This is an example of the micro product. The difference between the micro and the NASDAQ and the NQ. So the MNQ versus the NQ, the MNQ is worth a tenth of what the NQ is. Okay. So now a lot of people, the immediate knee jerk is, well, how am I going to make $620 trading the micros? Well, you're not going to make $620 trading the micros unless you are trading a ton and big size and a lot of trades. That's not the point. What I'm going to be teaching you, it's ultimately the point, but what I'm going to be teaching you is the process by which you capture the 31 points. We can use the micro product in high volatility. It lessens our risk dramatically. It allows a lot of small traders that have never traded futures, it completely slams the barrier to entry to the ground. You don't need a lot of money, a lot of margin to trade this product. It is a perfect training ground. Honestly, there's a lot of NQ traders that will trade the NQ in the morning, execute their trades. They love to trade and they'll start to trade the micro for the rest of the day. We're going to get into some more examples about that, but I wanted to just talk about the difference between the two. Okay. The NASDAQ, the NQ is worth $20 per point. The MNQ is worth a tenth of that, which is $2. Okay. So let's get into why we're doing this in the first place. So again, I call this the golden setup. This is a snapshot from, well, it wasn't last week. It was the week before last. And this is what set up for the entire week. So over the course of those 5 trading days, there was a total of 15 setups, 13 winners that collected 187 points, right? And 2 losers that lost 36 points. So a net gain of over $3,000 and a near 90% success rate over 15 trades for 1 week. That's pretty darn impressive, right? And so we're going to talk about the numbers and the probabilities and why this works so well here in a second. Okay. So if all you traded was this particular setup for the week, permission to believe you could have achieved this number. Okay. And that is your potential earnings if you took all of the setups. So what the heck is a golden setup? This is a setup that produces a 90% win rate when it is executed correctly. It is a repeatable pattern that occurs nearly every day in the NQ. There were multitude of golden setups today, multitude of golden setups this week. As a matter of fact, if you are an NQ trader, I want you to go back and look at Monday and Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, but it might be Monday and Wednesday. But each of those days, the 26th was the low of the day in the regular trading hour session. It was the low of the day yesterday. The 26th was. And it went for 400 points. So we're not trying to trade it for 400 points. But my point is listen, I figured something out here and I'm sharing it with you. As a matter of fact, some of you that are actual traders right now, you're going to learn this setup today. You're going to actually be able to execute it on your own today. All right. So I'm going to walk you through this step by step. Are you guys ready? It's really simple. Very, very simple. Okay. So let's get into it. Again, what I want you to focus on, there are two main numbers I want you to focus on, the 50 and the 26. That's a horrible circle there, Tony. Right? So this particular number is 24,850. This is 24,826. Okay. And again, and I'm going to say this probably another 100 times during this presentation. So you are going to learn this by the end of this presentation. So when price comes from the 50 down here, or up here, sorry, down into the 26, that is when we buy two contracts at the 26. Now, people have asked me, well, can I trade one contract? You can trade one contract, but you're not going to get two targets out of one contract. And that's why the micros are so important when you're learning this, because you're not going to hesitate to buy the two contracts. Risk is very well defined in this trade setup. So it's one level, very simple, very repeatable. You only have to memorize a couple numbers, right? So as long as price comes from the 50 down to the 26, that is where we buy. Okay, we buy that, and then we let our trade execution system take over from there. All right. So just to recap, why the NQ? That is where the action is. We can trade the entire tech sector, the Mag 7, under one ticker. In my opinion, it is the perfect vehicle for generating daily income or for day trading. You only need one chart. Now you only need one number to really focus on. Consistent gains can be made every single day with this particular setup, and you can start today. There's nothing holding you back. Most brokerage firms out there will let you trade futures. So this works with any brokerage firm that you're trading, okay? So the 26th level, we're going to get into some more details about it, okay? It is a key level that I use for the entry. Only on the 26th, okay? It is the only level I use because of the probabilities. And again, we've got 18 months of not only myself, but a lot of people using this. So this has been kind of battle tested, if you will, even since I've introduced this 18 months ago. We've had over 2,000 students come through this course. You're only going to focus on one level. That in and of itself is a challenge, because if you're a futures trader, you know how easily distracted you can get and how you have this FOMO, this fear of missing out when the market's moving, especially the NASDAQ, and you start trading what I call off the reservation. You're not trading that level. You're not trading it based on the criteria. Very strict criteria, okay? So I'm going to share some feedback that I've been getting throughout the course of this as well. So Ken, I made $1,020 today. Sam booked about $6,000 in profit. This is a message I got on my Instagram from another trader that has been with me for a while. Hey Tony, I just wanted to thank you for teaching me everything you know about trading. I think you're hiding something, or I think you're hiding some, maybe. But my progress is moving along nicely, and I will be a $250,000 trader this year. So this particular trader, Paul, is averaging $1,000 a day consistently. Okay, golden setup is in his arsenal, is part of his trading setups. Here's a couple examples of the trade, in recent examples, actually, the 24,926. So again, I hope this is not lost on you. As Don said, we're not far off of all-time highs here. This setup is working at all-time highs. The market has never been up here, you guys. It's never been up here. We've never been at 25,000. You guys remember the dot-com days? What was the NASDAQ? It was like 5,000, right? And then it crashed, and then we came back. As a matter of fact, when I started with Don Kaufman here at TheoTrade, when he brought me in, we were trading at 4,500, 5,000,
Yeah.
right around there.
4,200 and change was actually one of the first trades I did on this setup, because he was explaining the setup and I'm like, 2 minute 26. I'm like, okay. But I remember specifically the first lines that I actually drew on my screen to mirror this were at the 4,200 level. I mean, it's a long time ago.
4,200.
Yeah, it's not that
Knock
long
on wood.
ago. I know, it's crazy.
And it's been working ever since, right? It's
It's going
not
back
been a
there.
reason to change it.
It's going
Not
back
been a
there
reason
right
to
now. Yeah.
So here's a couple examples. And again, I want you to remember this, okay? We're only doing this for one of these trades. We're only trying to find one of these a day because we're trying to capture $620 a day. But a lot of times, traders will say, I missed this one. As long as it sets up again and you know how to trade it, there's another one coming. Or, hey, it might go up to 25,026. There's another 26. It might come down to 24,826. Okay, so just to show you again, price is coming from the 50 down into the 26. Notice how this launches off of the 26 and retraces back to the 50. Okay, back to the 50. So down from the 50, down to the 26, retraces right back. Now look, we're taking profit right here. I get all kinds of crazy emails. I get emails about, like, for instance, yesterday the low of the day was 26. We reversed off of it, and we ripped like 300 points off of that level. And I get crazy emails about that. So here's what I was talking about in terms of automating the process. I didn't want to mention the word bracket. I hope everybody understands and knows what a bracket is. If you're a trader, I'm pretty sure you know what a bracket is. And brackets, it really doesn't matter what platform you're on. This is universal language across all platforms. There might be some certain, process to setting up your bracket depending on what platform you're on, but it's pretty much cut and dry here. What I do is, and if you don't do this, by the way, you can't fumble with the mouse and try to, like, put your order in and then put your profit targets in. You need to have this automated. This is a very quick trade. Okay. So what's important is that we have our quantity set at 2. When price comes down to 26, we are literally just clicking one button. We're in, and now price, or the bracket, sorry, will just take over from there. It will take profit. This is our take profit for a +7, right? That's that $140. And then the +24. Okay. And then I have other things in place that will make sure, as long as this first target is hit, we're profitable, period. Even if price comes back to our entry point, we're still in a net profit trade. Once we've achieved this particular number, we're in a trade that can no longer lose money. All right. And that's all part of my process that I teach this through. Okay. So just to kind of recap, every broker is different. And Don showed back up. So I think he wants to talk broker stuff. Every broker is different, and work with the broker that you're working with. The bracket is pretty universal. And if you're like thinking, I've never set up a bracket, how do I do that? Just, search Google, or I can help you if I know what platform you're on.
People don't Google anymore, man. We use
I know
AI.
quite a bit. You could chat GPT it. Chat GPT will give you your bracket settings, no problem.
I say this about, like, the broker. So obviously, I spent 15 years in the brokerage world, and I don't necessarily have any love for any particular broker, but the truth is people spend way too much time talking about it, assessing the different brokers. Look, learn the damn strategy, get it under your belt, then we'll actually place you with reasonable brokers. And we've got relationships with everybody in the industry. One of my best friends runs Robinhood. Another close friend runs E-Trade. Obviously my friends run Tasty and Charles Schwab, and we know them all. We know them all. We know TradingView. We know the CEO over there. So by all means, like, people focus too much on the bracket. Okay. Learn the strategy first. It's like the idea of, hiring a good accountant, but you haven't made any money yet. You know, like, learn the strategy. We'll get that down, and then we'll get you fitted with the broker of that fits your trading style the best.
A bottom line, you guys, it works with any broker that allows you to trade futures. The entry process is the most important process. Understanding as price is coming down from the 50 and when to execute it, how to execute on it is very, very important. That is where the money is made on the entry. It is absolutely critical. All the more reason, practice on the micros first. All the more reason, practice on the micros. Here's a quote from Ann Coleman that said, I had one of my best days so far, 135 points in the MNQ. Very happy using a bracket every time. That's all you need. Do not try to fumble with the NASDAQ, especially the NQ. Do not try to do that. Someone just posted in the room. My last trade just now was a short from 26 plus 13 net 50 on the MNQ. So high volatility day, utilizing the lesser product, the micro, still real money, right? That's the difference between, everyone's heard of a simulator, right? We all know in the back of our mind, it's not real money. So there's a lot of simulator millionaires out there. And when they start to actually trade real money, they kind of lose their mind a little. Let's cut our teeth on a smaller product that's real money. Okay. And again, the risk is very limited when we're trading on the micros. Okay. Here's another example set up in motion here. And this is one that you'll see coming from the 25,050. So price comes down from the 25,050 into the 26. This is where we buy, and then it retraces back up to the 50. Now, obviously, look, it keeps going. So the more experience that you get with this, you can capture more out of it. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something very simple. And by the way, I do want to mention this. When it does this, do I get upset that I left some on the table? Do I get upset that I didn't capture all of it? Absolutely not. My entry point is absolutely critical. I let the bracket take over from there. We are trying to capture 31 points a day or $620 a day, right? And so when we're talking about the micros versus the mini, the NQ, the MNQ versus the NQ, this is your focus. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm just going to tell you right now. If you've been trading futures for any amount of time, there's a lot of emotion when it comes to futures because we're dealing with money. It is a very highly levered product, right? I don't want you thinking about money at all, ever. Because when you start thinking about money and making decisions based on that, you are no longer following the process. You're no longer doing that. That's an outcome. So what I try to teach is focus on process. If you're doing everything correctly in your process, knowing the criteria, knowing when to enter, knowing when not to enter, right? If you're focused on process versus the outcome will take care of itself. So regardless of what product you're on, this is what we focus on, capturing 31 points a day. And if we get very proficient with that on the micros, every bit of permission to believe that you are going to do the same thing when you graduate to the bigger product. So it's a process. You don't have to do it all in one day. The market's going to be here. We just talked about this working since the 4000s, you guys. It's not going anywhere. You have time to learn this. You have time to focus on this without taking a bunch of losses. When I first started trading futures, there was not a micro product. I have no qualms about telling you that I lost a lot of money trying to figure things out, right? Like a lot of people out there, okay? I have no problem telling you that. It is emotional. You have money attached to these trades, okay? So the micro is a wonderful training ground for us. John T, I'm up $853. Julie, I trade with Julie every single day, and Shirley too. Julie, wow, I just made my first $1,000 day. She's doing that on the regular now. She has turned into quite a trader. Shirley as well. Shirley said, Tony, this week I've made $4,280. There's other traders that will send me emails, like I said, that have experience and they will trade bigger accounts. right? And they'll scale into this, or they will use a larger number to execute this trade. There was only two setups on this particular day. Traded both of today's golden setups over $4,000 in net profit from Mark B. So you can always scale into larger position size once you start to see the consistency with the setup. Christian D, I'm surprised Christian's not here. I think Christian is in here. Golden setup pays again. Here's another example of it. And we'll get into some more kind of finite examples of these particular setups. But notice that it sets up more than one time, right? Things move quick in the NASDAQ. Things move very quickly in the NASDAQ. So we want to make sure that we are heads up enough to know when to trade this. Now I want to show you real quick on the screen here. This is in a span of 2 hours that it set up 3 times in a span of 2 hours. Sometimes it'll set up 3 times in the first hour, right? We don't need every single one of them, right? We only need one. That is the trading plan. We're trying to capture $620 a day. So again, I'm going to just walk through it again. This is the 750, 24,750, 24,726. Price comes down to the 26. We buy 2 contracts. Price retraces to the 50, back to the 50, right? There is a reason it's doing this, okay? Coming from the 50 down to 26, retraces back to the 50, okay? Very simple. Very simple. Repeats itself over and over again. Look, these charts, I didn't just pluck these charts out today. You can probably go find, again, if you are an experienced trader, you can probably go find that low of 26, and you can go find every other 26 from that point forward. Just start drawing that line on your chart, and you'll see it. Brent G, also another trader that I see on the daily. There are so many opportunities throughout the day, so if you miss one, no big deal. Another one is coming. Okay, very important. Ken, I already read that one. That's a repeat slide. Sorry about that. So this isn't what I'm talking about. This is not the other day. This is another day where 24,726. We've seen this 726 several times now. Was the low of the day. Price retraced all the way down here. It's almost like it forgot something down here, grabs it, and then it doesn't come back for the day. Right? So pretty cool stuff. I love to see this. Again, our setup, we don't care about that. If we are truly in it to win it, our setup is buying the 26 and we're done at the 50. And maybe you're doing this before lunch. I mean, this is at 9:50 in the morning. You're doing this before lunch and you're on with something else for the rest of your day. And we're compounding this day over day over day over day, or day after day after day, right? So it's not just a one-off. And there is look, if you overstay your welcome in the market, the more that you stay in the market, the more exposure to risk that you have. So it's important. Understand the criteria, execute the trade, get what you need for the day, get on with your day, wait for the next day, okay? Thomas, now this is a testimonial that I got a while ago, and I love this. Obviously, this is very emotional in and of itself. Tony, I have swept my account from my trades in June, which is enough to pay for the rest of my father-in-law's chemo treatments and beyond. Now I have more time with my dad. Thank you for everything. Life-changing stuff. That is why I'm doing this. That is why I do this every single day. It's why I show up in these chat rooms every single day, okay? Anthony, my trades paid for the whole 90-day challenge today. So Anthony was in the class, paid for the entire 90-day challenge in a day, right? So again, we're earning while we learn, right? We're earning while we learn. Some people have more experience than others. It doesn't matter. It is this simple. It is very, like this testimonial says, structured and disciplined. So Michael M says, I love the structure and the discipline. That's what it's about. Because look, if price doesn't come from the 50 down to the 26, guess what? We don't trade it. We don't trade it. It's as simple as that, right? If it doesn't meet the criteria, we're not trading it. Just that simple. Here is another example of a setup. Again, coming from the 50. So coming from the 850 down to the 26, and it retraces in the same candle, right? Down from the 50 to the 26, and it retraces, not quite in the same candle, but it retraces and it makes its way back to the 50, right? So again, we wait for this to happen. We engage by buying two contracts, and then we just simply let the bracket take over. All of these profit targets are part of the bracket. We don't have to think beyond that, you guys. All we have to do is buy this, okay? And then we let it take over. It's very important, though. You understand when and how and when to step aside as well. Like in this volatility that we're having right now, there's sometimes you just literally have to step aside, right? There is a point of diminishing returns when it comes to volatility. I know Don loves it, but when we're talking about managing risk, we have to kind of step aside on some of this stuff. Hutch sent me this testimonial. I'm averaging $1,000 to $2,000 per day. Those are life-changing numbers, everybody. I like that I only trade one ticker and that I don't have to study numerous stocks or charts. We're not doing scans every night. We're not working, 2-3 hours looking at 8 different stocks and then scratching off 3 of them in the morning because they're not worth trading. We're trading one ticker, one chart, okay? And if you're following this, you're going to be trading one setup. So poolside trader, boom, boom, $620 from the golden setup. I'm sure one of them has set up during this presentation. Henry said, my goal is $620 a day. And after just 2 weeks, I've been consistently winning. 2 weeks. Learn the setup, consistent, right? Kevin M, Tony, that's golden. I just made $1,500. All right. Now we're going to talk about some actual trade examples here and show you, I'm going to break it down as to how the trade works. Okay. So price, we saw this chart already. Price screaming down into the 26. Now, a lot of people will say to me, dude, you're catching a falling knife. Like that is, you're not supposed to buy that. I buy it because of the probability. I know what the risk is. I take the trade, period. Right? And this is how we take it. We buy 2 contracts at 24,726. Again, the bracket takes over. Okay. The bracket takes over. We sell one of the contracts at 24,733 for 7 points. Okay. The second contract is then offered or we sell it at 750. Again, all automated. We're not having to like put these numbers in or move anything around. These numbers are all part of the bracket. That is a total of 31 points. There's that number again. 31 points at $20 per point or $620. And that's on the NQ. That's the big product, right? The mini. Here's another example. And there's other golden setups on this chart that you can see. I'm just showing you this one, okay? Could you have bought every single one of them? Sure. You could have bought every single one of them, but that's not what we're doing. We're trying to get proficient enough to see when it sets up based on the criteria, taking our shot, buying it, getting the bracket out of both targets, and realizing our $620 for the day. Very, very important, you guys. Futures, they make it very easy for you to keep pushing the button. That's not what we're doing. We're about discipline, structure, and we are about getting what we need and then stop risking live capital. There's nothing wrong with trading, like I mentioned earlier. A lot of experienced traders will get into these setups and then practice with the micros because they have their day done, is what I call this process. I call the process day done. When we've achieved our daily goal, we are day done, right? So very, very important. You have to stick to the plan. So we buy 2 contracts, this time at 25,026. You can see how price is coming from the 50 down to the 26, right? It springboards off and retraces back to the 50. Here's one right here, by the way, that came from the 50 and only reached the first target, right? It only reached the first target. Again, we are net profitable when price comes back down through here like this. We're not making money here and then losing money here. That's not how it works. Not when we have the bracket set up the way that we have it set up. Here's another one from the 50. down to 26. It achieves the first target. And you can see how it kind of like gets in this little channel here and then it finally goes, right? So I'll walk you through all of that stuff. And this is another one where we buy two contracts, okay? Just simply let the bracket take over, right? So part of our process is taking profit on the first contract for 7 points, and that's at another key number on the 33, the 25,033 in this example. And we want to see it retrace back to or back up to the 25,050. That completes our trade for both targets. They are met, and we realize 31 points. Okay. I mean, it is this simple, you guys. Now, here's an example. Okay. This is an example, a recent example. This is actually yesterday. It's today, the 16th. This is yesterday's chart. I was trading micros. Why was I trading micros? Look at the size of these bars, everybody. Look at the size of these bars. So this is a high volatility situation. This is a reason to use that smaller product, right? Now, are we taking 10 of these so we can make our $620? No, we're not. We're simply executing based on the process, letting the bracket take over, and realizing our 31 points, albeit at a lesser level because we're trading micros, right? But we don't want to get involved with a bar like this that just keeps on going, right? Now, risk is always very well defined on all of this as part of the bracket, but we want to make sure that we understand when to trade this. We want to make sure we understand when not to trade this, when to actually step aside. These are futures products, very highly leveraged instruments, right? So we want to make sure that we understand that, okay? So this is the example, 31 points. That's all that matters to me. I know it's $2, 62 bucks, big deal. It's 31 points. We executed based on the plan. We let the bracket take over, and Bob's your uncle. It was a winner. All right. So what I just showed you, okay, is one level, one simple, repeatable trade. Okay. All it is the 26. It rolls around over and over throughout the day. Okay. We've seen it multiple times today. We've seen it multiple times this week. Opportunity is almost nonstop. But you have to understand when to trade it.
I apologize, Tony. I actually grabbed your screen for a second. By all means, grab it back over here because.
Oh no, go for it. I think it's
no,
all.
No.
I think.
No, not at all. You're by all means, please grab it back. I was actually going to display that 26 one more time with you, and I was like, because I was actually going to show like live on the screen. So by all means, to do grab it for a second. No, you're fine. So as you actually go back for just a second to I think it's slide 64 on there, I wanted to spend just a minute and talk about this because again, like the depth of it, people they often miss the simplicity of like descending through the 50 over there. You get lost sometimes in the numbers of it. I mean, he's literally on this particular slide, he was actually talking about 24,750. Okay. So 24,750, which is, I mean, literally, kind of right where we are. I'm looking at, my other screen right now. We're 24,799 and descending right now to it. But this 24,750 descending to the 24,726. And then, okay, if you want to explain that, okay, how many contracts are you buying at 24,726 at that point?
2 contracts.
All right. So 2 contracts. Okay. We revert back up. Okay. And from the point, okay, at 24,726, literally hitting that particular point, okay, is actually triggering, if you will, okay, an entire bracket order. And for those of you that don't know the bracket order, because people are like, where's the stop and where's this? It's all encompassed, okay? And it is an all-encompassing trade. And that's one of the most critical aspects of this is that the trade is actually encompassed into one package. And that's often, we miss that point, in here. And we're talking about the brackets we're showing you, but people get lost in some of the minutia of it, okay? And it's a package trade where we're actually buying, okay? And then subsequently, if you will, the stop order and the target price, okay, are all okay, packaged in that one execution. And it's one of the things that's an absolutely critical point that I can't kind of drive home enough in this particular case. And it is, and I know you're going to jump to, another slide over here. It is exactly, okay, what makes, okay, the prop firm side of this effective. By all means, continue, Tony.
Right. Key point, right? Because look, when I talk to traders that are doing this, that are, hey, I'm going to use a funded account, or I'm going to use a prop firm. My advice to them and to you is base hits, because most of these firms, and I'm not going to get into a lot of it, but most of these firms have a trailing drawdown. And that is the killer. That's one of those little tiny rules in there that will get you, right? But if you focus on base hits, 31 points a day, you're going to pass that eval very quickly. And then you're going to be a funded trader, and the drawdown may change, the rules may change from that point forward. But look, I mean, that it has become extremely popular in terms of using these prop firms' other money, or using other people's money and prop firms. So I obviously, well, it's redacted, but I guess we can say
It's
it's me.
you. It is you. It's okay. So actually, Tony's passed a couple of these over the years, but it's not me. It's you. No, I absolutely love that. Go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this was like a 3 day thing. This took like 3 days. And so, just testing it. And again, this is a setup. We talked about it. Don chimed in when he heard us talking about, the .com stuff. Since the 4,000s, you guys, since the 4,000s, the 5,000s, we're in the 24,000s, we're in the 25,000s. We've gone up to new all-time highs where we've seen the 26 become the low of the day, right? So over the course of 18 months, I'm calling this battle tested by our clients over the course of 18 months, and over 2,000 clients coming through the course. We've achieved $446,000, or over $446,000 in potential earnings if you took every single setup. That's nearly $500,000, everybody.
Yeah, the biggest thing, the biggest portion of this though is the fact that it is battle tested, and it's this is not about like one man's quest for a trade setup over here, and one man's quest. For those of you that are actually in inside of the chat rooms right now, if you've ever traded the 26, by all means, come forward, come hither, because well, introducing, of course, Tony Rago's 90-day Nasdaq trading challenge. Okay. Now there are three critical kind of boosts, okay, plus a $500 bonus that I'm actually fairly excited to talk to you about, because we're going to kind of put our money where our mouth is on this, on the 90-day Nasdaq challenge. And this is something that Tony and I have actually talked about a lot in the past. I'm like, let's do this. Okay. This is the first time ever. We've been talking about it for a long time. Okay. And using, if you will, other people's capital in here. And that's kind of what's so cool about it. So let me kind of break it down. By far and away, it is the first time ever that I'm going to sit here and actually write checks, okay, for $500 to individuals. And we're not going to, $500 discounts. We're literally going to write checks to people. And I'm going to show you why right here, right now. First of all, what you get, okay, there's going to be a brand new golden setup live masterclass. Tony, okay, let's not, save this. When is the live masterclass?
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. So there's plenty of time. There is still plenty of time, but we're actually hosting this today because literally tomorrow we're going to host a new live masterclass. There is now also a golden bounty, which is a $500 check. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking forward to writing $500 checks. And it sounds weird. Okay. But well, why are we going to be writing the check? And you're going to see that here momentarily. Right. All right. I want to also bring up the auto charting advantage. So there's a lot of people, they get caught up in the brokerage side of it. They get caught up in all the minutia. All of the charts are actually set up for you. Everything's set up for you. Okay. So when you come in, you can kind of hit the ground running, not have to worry about the technology side of things. Next in the docket, Tony's private chat room where he actually calls out the trades. And when I talk about calling out the trade, it's not just Tony sitting there go, okay, he's actually showing you, okay, descending from the 50, Remember, 24,000, like 650, descending from the 50. All right, the 50 has been triggered. Everybody get ready. And as soon as we hit the 26, it's a buy. Okay. All of that's actually going to be prefabricated and set up. That is a live chat room. And it's a private chat room. It's a live room. It's a live room where you actually get to trade alongside with Tony. You're literally looking over his shoulder. Next on here, the monthly golden coaching calls. Okay. This is continuing education. So not only are you getting a live masterclass, and I'll get into detail more about the live masterclass, because the masterclass is going to be, it's supposed to be 2 hours. He's going to go 3.5 hours, because Tony never stops. Okay. Until somebody literally drops, and it's usually him. But he's actually going to go through the masterclass, but there's continuing education. And every day he's in the side of the chat room. And every day, okay, for a minimum of an hour, you're actually looking for setups, finding setups. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, before I go even further, okay, there are other setups that are going to be taught here. It's not just going to be the one setup, and letting the cat out of the bag a little bit here, but it's not just the one setup. Okay. There's going to be several very high probability setups. So you don't just sit there all day and go, oh, the 26, the 26, the 20. Okay. There's more you can do here. So monthly golden coaching calls, futures 101. That is, there are going to be people, okay, that we're introducing to futures for the very first time. I don't want you to feel afraid. I don't want you to feel lost. I understand futures contracts. Okay. Understand, people, the word leverage. The word leverage is not a naughty word. It's a great word. Okay. Leverage, which means what? You ain't got to tie up a lot of capital. Okay. A lot of bang for your buck. There's no day trading margin rules, none of that crap. And I'll tell you what, if you have concerns about capital, like, I don't even have enough capital, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about you passing the proprietary trading firm's test if you want to access the proprietary trading firm's capital. But if you want to trade your capital, of course you can do that. Okay. Quite nominally as well. Why? Because we actually trade their capital or your capital. There's not much margin held up. You can even trade micros. What are micros? You can have $500 in your account and trade these products. Literally, you can have $500. There's no minimum, nothing like that. All right. So that's the Futures 101, getting comfortable. Now, this is brand new. Okay. We are going to give you a new $20 billion prop firm research, okay, dossier, which basically means we're giving you an entire research paper specifically on proprietary trading firms. Okay. Which proprietary trading firms, what they are, the details behind them. I mean, the entire industry, to make you more effective at understanding them. Okay. To give you a much higher probability of passing their test. Why? Because when you pass the test, it's going to empower you. Okay, and reward you for accessing their capital. That's what this is about. That's what you're going to get paid $500 to do. Okay, so we're going to give you this entire dossier. Now, there's also the new Golden Setup Index, okay, which is literally going to tell you, green light, we're ready to actually get into the golden setup, which is the 26. I'll talk that more in just a moment. And then Tony's also going to be producing Golden Nuggets, daily updates. You like that name, don't you? The Golden Nuggets. Okay. I think we saw the Golden Nuggets. I think we saw the Golden Nuggets a little bit earlier there in the Viking picture. Nevertheless, the Golden Nuggets, it's just daily, okay, specific levels, Tony's setup, and what is basically on the forefront, sometimes news-related events and so forth. Now, before I go any further, go to theotrade.com/26. Okay, theotrade.com/26. And I do want to bring up this site for just a moment and kind of scroll you through it. So it's theotrade.com/26. As you scroll, okay, down here, a couple of aspects. First of all, we're going to talk more, okay, about the $500 golden bounty in just a moment. Okay. We're also going to talk a little bit more in just a moment about a 30-day money back guarantee. Why? Okay. Because we want people that want to trade. We don't want to put any pressure on you. Okay. Learn this crap. Learn it. Make sure it's for you. There's a 30-day money back guarantee on here. Okay. As you scroll down in here as well. Okay. Put in the correct information. All right. First name, last name, email address. Okay. You've actually got the only choice on here, okay, is whether you want to do this for a full year, okay? This is a full year, or whether you want to do it quarterly. Again, it's a full year, and the full year is $2,000. Quarterly is $995. Do it for a full year, okay? You're saving a huge amount. Obviously, you're saving a huge amount, and here you're saving thousands of dollars, $2,000. In addition, either one of these, okay, I'll still write you a check for $500, which I'm going to get into here momentarily. All right, onward. 30-day money back guarantee, okay? We believe in it. We've been doing this for 18 months, specifically with Tony. We do have a chat room. Over 2,000 TheoTrade clientele have actually gone through that room, okay? So again, cannot stress this enough. We believe in this. We're going to put our money where our mouth is on this. The money back guarantee, if you're not satisfied in the next 30 days, email support@theotrade.com, receive a full refund. Okay. There are no stipulations to the money back guarantee. So you don't have to do a little dance. You don't have to make a little love. You don't have to get down tonight. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. From when? Okay. From right here, right now, or tomorrow, whatever it is. Okay. Look, it's fine. Tomorrow's the class. Okay. You get the full Monty, if you will, tomorrow. The golden nuggets. You get the full Monty tomorrow on the class. Okay. And I think you're going to get a really good feel for it. You got to spend time with him. You spend time with him in there. Why? Okay. Because this is where you're actually going to learn. So when's it coming up? Friday, October 17th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay. Is it a little early for those of you that are on the Pacific time zone? Hell yeah. Okay. But I'll tell you what, that's prime time, baby, for trading. So he's going to start off in a PowerPoint. Okay. But I guarantee you, he's going to go into the live market and do some executions in there as well. Okay, that's what this is about. Step by step, Tony's going to teach you the golden setup. Okay, what the 26 is about. In addition, there are going to be 3 high probability setups. Okay, so I don't want to get too detailed into, the silver setup and so forth. Okay, and people always ask, well, do you always have to buy? Because markets right now are selling off. You kidding? Okay, we love taking the other side of the marketplace. This is what we live for. Okay, this is what we live for. So look, the class is going to be recorded because I know some people on short notice are like, I can't make it. I got to take the dog to the vet, man. Anybody say that yet? I don't know. I just put that one in there. But if you can't make it, the class is recorded. And I'm going to tell you one thing, okay? Everything, every spoken word here at TheoTrade is recorded. So if you want to hear me say golden nuggets like 5 times in a row, go for it. Every spoken word is recorded. And what's cool about the class is you can actually play it back. Okay, at like 1.5 times the speed. You sound like a chipmunk. It's awesome. The class alone is a $2,000 value. Next, okay, this, I'm going to put a lot into it. Okay, I'm going to write your name on a check and I'm going to sit here, okay, and actually write checks. Okay, TheoTrade checkbook right here in my hand. You're going to receive a check. We're not just teaching you how to trade, okay, other people's money. Okay, we're actually going to pay people cash to do it. Join the golden setup, pass, okay, any prop firm evaluation. It has to be a real certificate. And by the way, we know them all, okay? We know every major prop firm out there. You pass the prop firm, okay, evaluation. What does that mean? It's the prop firm evaluation, and all of them have an evaluation. Once it says that you're ready to trade their capital, okay, just send us the certificate. You're good to go. Okay, we'll send you a $500 check with your name written on it, okay, signed over here, putting my money, again, where my mouth is, okay, to encourage, to incentivize you. We want people to do this. We want people to send us the certificate. It's worth us paying $500 to do it, okay, because again, this setup, it is effective, okay, it works in that environment. Why not? Okay, and again, Tony, we've talked about this numerous times over the years. And I was like, let's do this. The only way, okay, to get some of our clientele, really excited about this, maybe to write you a $500 check. So we're really going to clip the cost, okay, of you actually learning it. But more importantly, okay, we're going to push you. This is going to incentivize you to drive, to pass the test, and to use other people's money. Okay. Again, I'm going to write your name on that check. I'm excited about this. This is a brand new bonus in here. All right, moving along over here. Okay, how it's actually going to work. Enroll in the golden setup, quarterly or annual. Apply the golden setup to any prop firm evaluation. Okay, pass the evaluation, email us your verified funded certificate, okay, from the firm. We're going to mail you a $500 check to celebrate your win. It's that easy. Okay, and again, it's not like, we're just, let's give them a discount. We're actually going to mail you a $500 check. Okay, because I want to make it, real, and I want to make it spectacular. So if I have to sit here and write checks, as I said, I think I'm auto signing anything over here. But if we have to sit here and write checks for hours over here, so be it. Okay. And that's where we're at with the golden setup. So after 18 months of results, okay, I don't think there's anything more effective to pass the prop firm live trading result tests over here. Okay. So again, the basics, okay, clean and fair. Stay active. You got to maintain, okay, an active golden setup subscription through the qualifying period. Okay. You can't combine the $500 check, okay, with any refund request. So, pick one or the other. Inevitably somebody's like, I passed, give me a refund. So you can't combine that one. So again, 30 days out, I'm going to start writing those checks. No problem whatsoever. And I'm excited to do this. So I want to see how many of our clientele here at TheoTrade can pass this test using the golden setup, because Tony's done it. And I'm going to tell you right now, Tony, okay, I can't pay myself really $500 to do this, but I am going to make the attempt at passing the prop firm test. Just going to find the time, blank out the calendar, and I'm going to go to town. All right. So whether you choose quarterly or annually, okay, you have the full length of your subscription to qualify for the $500 check. I'm going to say that again. Okay.
Wow.
I don't care how many.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I don't care how many tries you do.
That's
And
awesome.
kind of added this. Tony hasn't even really seen this slide yet. So I don't give a crap over the next year. Okay. Hit me up 9 months from now. I'll still write you a $500 check. Okay. Take shots at it. Take shots at it. Okay. Because maybe it's going to take you more than 30 days to learn it. Maybe it's going to take you more than 60 days to learn it. Okay. But maybe you don't want to take it until you're really proficient. Okay. So that's fine. Annual members, okay, get more time. They got a full year. You're an annual member. You plop down $2,000. I'm going to write you a check for $500 back of that. Okay. And you can take as many shots as you want. People do that. They'll take as many shots as they possibly can. Okay. Prove they can actually do it. Prove it. Send us a certificate. You're good to go. All right. Okay. Ready to raid the industry legally, cleanly. Okay. Rewarded for it. The golden setup. Okay. Claim the bounty. And this is the first time we've done anything like this. Again, it's cool. It's $500 check. Okay. Get that funded email to us. All right. Bonus number 2, auto charting advantage. So you don't have to screw around with charts. No fooling around. I call everything screwing around. You don't have to screw around with charts. Totally programmed for you, saves time, saves headache. We literally just pass you over what the chart should look like. It's $1,000 value in this. Next, okay, 90-day access to the private chat room. Now, I say 90-day access. You sign up for a year, you're golden. You're golden for a year. You sign up for 90 days, you're 90 days. Okay, this is a room just like the room that you're in right now. Okay, where you can look over our shoulder. Tony's going to trade live. He's going to post the golden setup, day-to-day mentoring in there. By the way, the day-to-day mentoring is really what you're there for. Okay. Even if you're good, trade with people. Even if you're good, talk to other traders in this room. Okay. Even if you know what the hell you're doing for a couple of years, okay, refine the skill set, ask questions, answered live day to day. This isn't just Tony yabbering at you, waiting, for the next, it's the golden setup. Okay. He's actually trading with you. He's actually talking about other setups that he took earlier in the day. Okay. The room is where it happens. And there's nothing better than being in that room and having Tony Rago just screaming like, day done. What does day done mean? Anybody? What does day done mean? Okay. You guys tell me, what does day done mean? Okay?
Yeah, I want to chime in here too, because I feel like we're building a little community in there for sure. And again, I want everyone to understand that it is not just me giving you, I'm not an alert service. We are literally talking about the context of the market, how things are setting up, how the NASDAQ trades, the other setups that I'm teaching you guys as well, and when to step aside. When to step aside. And we'll kind of get into another tool that we have to help us kind of make that decision as well. But it is absolutely community. We don't want to trade in a vacuum. If you are sitting there by yourself, number one, it gets really boring, but you want to kind of surround yourself with people with like-minded goals, right? We all want the same thing. So, sorry, go ahead.
All right. So the chat room is again, this is where you spend even an hour a day. It's not even an hour a day for some people because you get one decent setup, it's day done almost immediately. And day done basically means get up, walk away from your computer system, and you have to kind of save some mental capital, for future sessions. And this alone, this is where it happens. And again, if you're into this business and you really want to learn this business, you want to learn futures trading, this is the place to do it. And that's why this is a $2,000 value unto itself, not even including the class, not even including the fact that we are actually going to give you a $500 check. The reason we're incentivizing people though with a $500 check is to use other people's money. You don't have to use other people's money. If you don't want to go that route, you don't have to go that route. But if you're willing to take the time, okay, we want to incentivize. We want to see if people are going to pass that test. Okay, take the time, okay, get in the ring, do it. Because I'm telling you, you have the right setup to do it. And that's why we said we'll put our money where our mouth is over here. All right, bonus 4. This is the coaching calls. Okay, these are dedicated 2-hour coaching calls. Okay, that happen once a month. So you get your questions answered live. So this is in addition to just the room. This is going back, okay, and refinement of the golden setup in here. Okay, so access to the recordings of each of the 2-hour sessions, and these are literally they are 2-hour sessions, and you got to realize how much time, okay, Tony is spending with clientele on a day-to-day basis. So not only is he spending an hour and a half, okay, in this room with you, this golden setup, chat room specifically with you, he's spending another, okay, 2 hours once a month to go through here. Okay. Again, Tony will also answer any and all emails that you have coming in, but I put a lot of weight specifically into the coaching calls over here. Bonus number 5, this is the Futures 101 class. I actually put this class together because there's going to be some people that have just never had experience. They've never had experience with futures in any way, shape, or form. Okay. And the big question is, I don't even know where to get started, man. And that's where this is. Even those of you that have some experience with futures contracts, maybe you've never traded NASDAQ futures contracts, I don't even know where to get started. This is where you start. Futures margin, spectacular. Okay. Don't think of leverage as, it's naughty. It's not naughty. Okay. Leverage, good. Less capital actually tied up. No day trading rules. You could do this crap in an IRA. Okay. It's great out there right now. And the futures marketplace, okay, it's clean. It's the most futures are the most raw capitalistic product of any other product. That's why I love the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and what they've actually done over the years. Okay. You're also going to learn how futures, they drive order flow for the entire marketplace. So this one, it's me. Okay. It's a Futures 101 class, $300 value. Okay. Bonus number 6. Okay. This is a $20 billion research dossier. And what it basically is it's a very complete kind of A to Z, okay, about the proprietary trading firm world. I hate using that prop firm, term, okay, but it's trading with other people's money. It's going to talk about why others fail, okay, why you're actually going to pass. We're trying to give you every foothold to give you a higher probability of passing that proprietary trading firm's test. Okay, built to stay inside the rules, how the golden setup, okay, tells you when to trade, sit out, how much risk you have, okay, aim for funding confidence, another $500 value thrown in there. All right, official access, okay, to prop firm capital. This is actually Tony Rago funded. All right, okay, taking payouts using the golden setup. This comes from Francisco, and Francisco is actually in the chat room right now. So Francisco, he is not paid to be in here, okay?
He sent me another message, by the way, Don. He sent me another message that he just got his second payout yesterday. I thought you might want to know. That's what he sent me this morning.
Oh, cool. So
cool.
Francisco's actually in the chat room right now. So by all means,
and he's in the golden setup room every day.
Yeah, the truth is, I can sit here and I can talk about the golden setup, and we've been, doing the golden setup literally. We've been doing this since the day that Tony Rago came aboard here at TheoTrade, which is 9 years ago. Are you a 9-year veteran?
Yeah, we're almost
is it 10?
Yeah.
Holy crap, man, you're getting old. Not me, just you. But we've been doing this, and I think that the best, the best venue to discuss and let the other clientele tell you how they're doing. And Francisco is obviously in the room right now, taking payouts though. And when it says taking payouts, that means from proprietary trading firms. You take your cut, okay? All right, new bonus, number 7, huge breakthrough, golden setup index, okay? This is at a glance, it's like a heat index, okay? So Tony looks at volatility, trend quality, okay? Catalysts, what we term, for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, okay? If there's huge volatility in a given day, that can get a little bit scary. So what do? Okay, what this golden setup index is going to do, it literally, in just the easiest terms, okay, it's go, no go. On the golden setup, go, no go. Okay. So
Yep.
show up, check the GSI, scan for the golden setup, execute the checklist. Okay. Get back to life. And that's the easiest way to say it. It is go, no go, built all into one, okay, kind of all seeing eye. So there used to be a checklist of like 6 different things Tony would go through, and we're like, we should just build that into one animal. Okay. And he did. Okay. Built into one animal. That is, again, the GSI. That's the golden setup index. That is included, obviously. Okay. Whether you go quarterly or whether you go annually, that's actually included in it. Number 8, golden nuggets. Tony's going to show you his golden nuggets. Now, this is a 2-minute cheat sheet. Okay. So the 2-minute cheat sheet, okay, it's just giving you a little bit of discipline, overnight drivers, the levels that we're going to be trading at, volatility, okay, where it's at on a given day. Okay. And again, the golden setup, the go, no go list, it's all in it. Okay. In the initial report also, it's the entire previous day distilled down. Okay. And very, very clean way to get a good feel. Okay. For the coming trading session. So a very, very clean way to get a feel, like, a feel for that trading session in a 2-minute, okay, cheat sheet over here. Once again, there is a 30-day money back guarantee. There's no stipulations on that. Okay. I want everybody to feel comfortable as you enroll today. Okay. As you enroll today and hop into the class tomorrow. Okay. You're part of it. You're going to be in the room. Okay. We'll give you all the directions prior to. There's plenty of time between now and tomorrow. Get yourself situated, drink some caffeine in the morning, join the room. Okay. Join the room. I'll even be in there for a portion of it. So what you're going to get today, the live masterclass. When's the live masterclass? Tomorrow. Okay. It's at 10:30 Eastern time. That's 7:30 in the morning Pacific time. Get in, get caffeinated, get ready. Okay. There'll be some breaks in there. It's fine. Okay. The new Golden Bounty $500 check. Hopefully, I'm sitting here 30 days, 60 days from now, writing a bunch of $500 checks with your name on it. Okay. And that is, again, I want to put the money where the mouth is over here. Pass the proprietary trading firm test. You're in. Okay. $500 check written back to you. Auto charting advantage. Tony's private chat room where he calls out the trades, the monthly coaching calls, Futures 101, $20 billion proprietary trading firm dossier. Okay. The golden setup. That's the go, no go index, the go, no go index. And of course, your daily nuggets. Okay. You got to get in, obviously, very, very quick. Even though there's a 30-day money back guarantee, that class comes in tomorrow. So get in under the wire. It is now or it is never. Okay. Spots, they're limited. Okay. We do not have 2,000 people inside of that room. So on a quarterly basis, okay, we open a few hundred spots, okay, close to filled. Again, get in under the wire here. So Tony's actually going to work with you directly. Plus, you're going to get unlimited email access to Tony. There's some certain things you don't want to mention in the chat room. Fine, email him directly. Okay, for the full duration of the challenge, whether you're in there for a quarter, whether you're in there for a year, whether you got questions. Okay, look, if you don't want to mention it in the chat room, you don't want to mention it live, email him. Okay, there is one Tony. Okay, and that Tony will be answering emails probably like 4 or 5 hours a day. It's okay, Tony. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with you sitting in front of your computer all day, right? If you need us, call us, 623-244-5657. Again, it's 623-244-5657. I am more than aware that there's individuals that will never, okay, put anything in online. If you're that person or if you've got questions, just call us. It's okay. Okay, we're there. In fact, I've actually got Matt inside one of the chat rooms, Robert's inside one of the chat rooms. So our support team is here. They are here to help. Okay. By the way, if anybody would like help, if you would like a phone call, if you would like us to contact you, just put a 1 inside of the chat room. I think it makes it easy. That way we could just identify you, just put a 1 inside of the chat room. Okay. If you would like to talk to, for instance, Matt about this, if you would like to talk to Robert about this, okay, we've got an entire team. By the way, Matt trades. Okay. Matt's just not like some support guy. What we're actually doing with the support team right now, our support team is traders like Todd Sweet. Okay. Todd Sweet was a market maker for 20 years before he actually came to work for TD Ameritrade and TheoTrade. So we're taking traders, and that is your support team. So I know that some people, they've just got questions and they're just like, I don't know. Okay. Or it freaks you out to even enter information in online. It's fine. Okay. We will get a hold of you. We'll get a hold of you and we'll take the time to do so. So if you don't get a call back or, we don't hit you immediately, it's okay. We can see inside of the chat room over here. So put a 1 again, just type in 1 and we'll hit you back here momentarily. Again, if you do want to call us directly, it's 623-244-5657. Made another $240. Thanks for great lessons, Tony. This comes from Asher L. Okay. Finding you has been life changing. Just banked $1,000. Sean F. from Denver. Okay. Day done, 675. That comes from Vicky. $400 day done on 2 trades. Day done, having a finite attainable goal each day has really changed my mental approach on what counts as a win. All right. Yeah. First trade and green from Tim D. Okay. You're providing exceptional value from Rick M. You know what? When it comes to exceptional value, okay, I'm stopping right here for a second. Okay, there's nothing like this. Okay, there's no place on this planet you're going to get for $2,000 for a year. Okay, where you're actually going to get like what feels like you and Tony in a room together. There's just no other place. There's no place you could possibly do that. You know, you want to talk one-on-one to somebody, $500, $600 an hour. You're going to get Tony literally. You sign up for a year, it's $2,000. It's 252 trading days in a year. Okay. He might miss 5 of them. And I'm serious about that. That guy might miss 5 of them. He'll go on vacation. He'll be in Hawaii, waking up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm not like, that's dead serious.
True
Okay.
story. Yeah.
Even on vacations, whatever, like I live in the Virgin Islands part of the time. I'll fly to the damn Virgin Islands. Okay. Oh, it's no vacation, whatever. No vacations. Okay. Who needs a vacation? You go in there, you get day done after like an hour, get the hell out of there. But there's nothing that provides such a value, okay, as what you're actually seeing here at TheoTrade, and specifically, okay, with this golden setup here. So again, it's put the web address back in here. It's theotrade.com/26. I do believe the links are inside of your chat room right now. Again, if you want somebody to call you, just put a 1 after your, just type in a 1 in the chat room and we'll hit you up. Okay. What you get, Golden Setup Live Masterclass, the Golden Bounty, it's a $500 check written specifically by me, Auto Charting Advantage, Tony's private chat room, okay, monthly coaching calls, Futures 101, okay, the $20 billion proprietary trading like research dossier, which is us telling you everything we could possibly tell you about the proprietary trading world. The GSI, which is a go, no go, Golden Nuggets, okay, which is daily updates. Again, results, well, pass through the gauntlet over here, $620 a day delivered. Okay, this is what you could potentially have banked had you actually taken every setup of the last 18 months. It's $446,080. All right, your questions. What do you need to get started? Laptop, we have everything. Okay, and I want to be clear about that. We have everything. If there's something you need to get involved in here, let us know. Do you really even need a laptop? I think you should do this at minimum on a laptop. Could you actually trade this off of like an iPad? You could. Okay. But I would prefer, especially with bracket orders, that you probably have some type of a laptop or computer. We're giving you and providing you golden setup. Okay. Monthly live updates, recordings are available. Okay. There are multiple trade setups per day. Okay. Subject to market conditions. There's times where the markets, they get a little slow. Oh, I'm sorry. There may be 1 or 2 setups. There's days like today where this is a freaking free for all. And today, okay, you're taking shots left and right. Depends on the day, but I'm going to tell you, every day something sets up. Okay, you can email us anytime, receive a response within 24 hours, including trade-related questions. You don't have to say, my dog's sister's boyfriend has a question about a trade. Okay, come out with it. Most of us have actually held every license imaginable in the regulatory industry, so whatever. Okay, variations of the trades are available inside of an IRA, retirement account. You can do this with as little as $2,000 in the account. Theoretically, you can fund an account even with $500 and trade it now. Okay. Look, there are limited spots available. Okay. Limited spots available. I also want everybody to remember you got to get in under the wire. And that wire is right here. This class starts tomorrow. Get results, take action, enroll now. Again, theotrade.com/26. I want to thank everybody for actually tuning in today. Okay. Tony, fantastic. I actually really appreciate you going through the 26 again and again with us, no matter how many times you do it. Okay. Look, everybody, even those that are trading it, okay, we're all still learning. We're constantly learning in here, refining strategy. But now we're looking at paying you $500 for passing proprietary trading firm tests. Thanks everybody for tuning in. You got questions over there, put a 1 after your name. We will get you taken care of. And thanks everybody. And have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.